Frozen but alive, the Everest miracle, the Beck Weathers story. Ultra expanded. The human spirit is capable of extraordinary things. But sometimes it faces something even greater. Imagine being abandoned, blind, frozen, left to die twice. On Mount Everest, the highest point on Earth, and the deadliest. A place where the air cannot support life. A place where the wind alone can kill you. This is the story of a man who shouldn't be alive. A man who defied death. A man who walked out of his own grave. This is the true story of Beck Weathers. The mountain that kills. Everest, the roof of the world. Elevation, 8,848 meters, 29,029 feet. Above 8,000 meters lies the death zone, where the oxygen level is only 30% of sea level. Human bodies begin to shut down, no matter how strong, trained, or prepared. When you enter the death zone, you are dying. Slowly or quickly. The deadliest place on Earth. Everest is not just a mountain. It is a graveyard. Over 200 bodies remain on the mountain, preserved by the cold, visible on the climbing routes, becoming grim landmarks. The rise of commercial expeditions. In the 1990s, Everest became accessible not just to elite climbers, but to anyone who could pay. Adventure consultants, led by Rob Hall, and Mountain Madness, led by Scott Fisher, were pioneers in guiding paying clients to the summit. Cost: between $65,000 to $100,000. Promise: with a guide, anyone could reach the top of the world. But Everest does not care about money, or experience, or dreams. Who was Beck Weathers? A respected pathologist from Texas. Struggled for years with deep depression. Found escape in mountaineering, in danger, in isolation, in suffering. A dangerous secret. Beck suffered from keratoconus, a degenerative eye disease. Underwent radial keratotomy surgery, which made his eyes dangerously sensitive to pressure changes at high altitudes. But he didn't fully disclose this risk to the team. I believed if I conquered Everest, maybe I could conquer myself. The summit push, a perfect disaster unfolds. May 10, 1996. Teams departed from Camp 4, 26,000 feet, the death zone. The rule: turnaround time by 2 p.m. If you're not summiting by then, you turn back. No exceptions. But delays happened. Bottlenecks at the Hillary Step, a single-file vertical climb. Ropes weren't installed in advance. Precious hours were lost. Beck's blindness starts. As altitude increases, Beck's vision fades into darkness. Left nearly blind, Rob Hall instructs him to wait on the trail while he escorts others to the summit. Just sit tight. I'll come back for you. Rob Hall's final words to Beck. Then came the storm. A sudden supercell blizzard slams the mountain, winds over 160 kilometers per hour, 100 miles per hour. Temperatures plummet to minus 40 degrees Celsius, minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Visibility: 0. The world turns white. Chaos. Climbers disoriented. Guides separated. Radios fail. Rob Hall becomes trapped higher up, trying to save Doug Hansen. Scott Fisher collapses and dies on the south summit. The moment of death. Beck waits. Alone. Blind. Frozen. Hours pass. Then collapse. I sat down, leaned against my pack, and waited for the end. Hypothermia sets in. Blood retreats to core organs. Hands, feet, nose, freeze solid. Skin turns black, flesh hardens. Consciousness fades into hallucinations, a dreamlike descent into death. Discovered. The next morning, rescuers find Beck motionless, frozen, with ice over his face. No response. No visible breathing. Pronounced dead. Left behind. But the mind refuses death. A flicker of life. Beck hears voices, hallucinations of his wife, his children. Something primal awakens. Not logic. Not reason. A fire. A command: get up. The impossible walk. Blind, with frozen limbs, swollen face, and oxygen-starved Beck stands. Walks, stumbles, crawls back toward Camp 4. He looked like a dead man walking. Face swollen beyond recognition. Skin black with frostbite. Hands like claws of ice. The highest rescue in history. Climbers rush to help. Stunned. Terrified. No one believed it possible. A call for a helicopter, unheard of at this altitude. Helicopters cannot fly safely in such thin air. Pilot Madan Khatri Chetri performs one of the highest altitude rescues in Everest history. Risking his own life, battling thin air and brutal winds, he brings Beck down the mountain. The aftermath. Physical loss. Beck loses right arm, all fingers of the left hand, his nose, parts of his cheeks, 10+ surgeries to reconstruct his face, a new nose crafted from skin from his forehead, emotional gain, depression, gone. His near-death experience reframed his life, restored marriage, rebuilt relationship with his children. I died on that mountain, but I also came back as someone else. Someone better. The legacy of Beck Weathers. Today, Beck is a motivational speaker. His story appears in books, documentaries, and the film Everest, 2015, starring Josh Brolin. A symbol of the power of will when the body should no longer function. Final reflection. You don't survive Everest. Everest lets you leave. But only if your will is stronger than the mountain. This isn't just a survival story. It's a story about the thin line between life and death. And now I ask you, if it were you, frozen, blind, abandoned, would you have survived? Sources and verification. Into Thin Air, John Krakauer. Left for Dead, Beck Weathers. Documentaries. The True Story of Everest Disaster, Storm over Everest. Film, Everest, 2015. Reports from BBC, CNN, National Geographic.